Have you ever found yourself thinking, isn't there a better way to age than moving into a nursing home? If so, you're not alone. For many people between the ages of 60 and 85, just hearing the words nursing home triggers a mix of fear, anxiety, and even sadness. It can feel like a final chapter written too soon, one where you lose control, say goodbye to independence, and hand over your freedom to a system you never asked for. But here's the good news. You have choices, powerful ones, my modern and unstoppable seniors. The world is changing, and so is the way we age. Nursing homes are no longer the only answer or even the best answer for many older adults who still want a vibrant, safe, and fulfilling life. In fact, today we're diving into 7 powerful alternatives to traditional nursing homes options that protect your dignity, give you more control, and help you live on your terms. Not just in theory, but in reality. Some of these choices are practical, some are creative, and some might just surprise you. Stick with me until the end, because you might just discover a better future one that gives you more freedom than you thought possible. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Wellness for Modern Seniors and hit that notification bell, because we're here to empower you with real answers, smart strategies, and a future full of possibilities. Now, let's dive into alternative number 1, and it's one that's becoming more popular every single year. Alternative number 1, staying in your own home with support. That works for you, one of the most empowering options. Available today is also the most familiar. Aging in your own home, with a little help where it counts. This isn't about giving up your independence, it's about strengthening it. Let's face it, staying at home is where you feel the most you. You know where the spoons are? Your couch has your favorite blanket. You can sit on your porch with a cup of tea and listen to the birds just like you always have. But what if climbing stairs is getting harder? What if remembering medications is starting to feel like a mental gymnastics routine? That's where in-home care steps in, and it's not what it used to be. Today, in-home care is customizable, flexible, and deeply respectful of your personal space and preferences. It might be as simple as having someone come by twice a week to help with grocery shopping and laundry, or as comprehensive as daily support with medication reminders, bathing, and meal prep. You're not losing control, you're gaining a support system. Take Helen, for example. She's 76, widowed, and still sharp as ever. She lives in the same home she's loved for over 40 years. But since her arthritis got worse, she hired a caregiver who visits 3 mornings a week. They go for a walk, tidy up, and prep meals for the week. And Helen? She still hosts her book club every Friday and bakes cookies for her grandkids on Sundays. She didn't have to give up her home or her life. She just needed a little boost on her terms. And the best part? In-home care is scalable. You can start small, and as your needs grow, the care grows with you. It's not one-size-fits-all, it's custom-tailored to fit you. More importantly, aging in place has real health benefits too. Studies show that seniors who stay in their own homes experience lower rates of depression, better mental clarity, and even slower cognitive decline than those in institutional care. Why? Because being in a familiar environment reduces stress and increases feelings of safety, autonomy, and connection. There's something powerful about waking up in your own bed, choosing your own breakfast, and knowing your life is still yours. So, if you've been worried about what comes next, just know what comes next can be whatever you decide. In-home care isn't about doing less, it's about getting just the right help to do more of what you love. Without moving into a facility, alternative number 2, living with family, with clear boundaries and shared support. My modern and unstoppable seniors, let's talk about something deeply meaningful. Family. Not just the holiday visits or the phone calls, but the real possibility of living with family in a way that works for everyone. Now, before you roll your eyes or say, I don't want to be a burden, let's reframe this, because this is not about dependency. This is about connection, contribution, and creating a living situation where you thrive. And they do too. More and more families today are coming together under one roof, but in new ways. This isn't your traditional move-in with the kids and hope for the best setup. This is modern, multi-generational living, and it's rising fast across the globe. Why? Because it solves real problems for everyone involved. For adult children, having a parent close by often brings peace of mind and shared responsibilities. For older adults, it creates a sense of purpose, belonging, and daily connection. For the grandkids, it brings wisdom, warmth, and stories they'll never forget. But here's the key: it has to be structured, respectful, and mutual. It's not about giving up your space or your say. It's about co-creating a life where you're included, not isolated. Let's look at how that works. Meet Roberto, 81. He moved into the downstairs suite of his daughter's home, not because he was frail, but because they all wanted to live together. He has his own entrance, his own kitchen, his own independence. But every evening, he joins the family upstairs for dinner. He helps the grandkids with homework, shares old stories from his time as a firefighter, and plays chess with his grandson every Saturday. And the result? He says he feels more alive now than he did in his 70s because he feels needed. He feels home, but not alone. Research backs this up. Older adults living in supportive, intergenerational homes often report lower levels of depression and isolation, greater mental stimulation, and a renewed sense of identity. But to make it work, communication is key. Set expectations early on everything from household roles to quiet time. Maybe you help prep meals or watch the kids after school. Or maybe you simply keep the garden beautiful and share your life. Experiences over breakfast. You're not moving in, you're adding value. And with today's housing designs, there are more possibilities than ever. Granny flats, in-law suites, garage conversions, even tiny homes in the backyard, all offer ways to stay close while still maintaining your independence. And remember, my modern and unstoppable seniors, asking for help doesn't make you weak. It makes you wise enough to create support systems that actually work. Because here's the truth: connection heals, isolation harms, and choosing to live with family, when done with care and clarity, can be one of the most life-giving decisions you'll ever make. Alternative number 3, senior co-housing, a community built on friendship, not dependence. My modern and unstoppable seniors. Have you ever thought, what if I didn't have to choose between independence and community? What if aging didn't mean isolation, but instead meant connection? Let me introduce you to one of the most exciting movements today in senior living: senior co-housing. Now, this isn't a dorm or a retirement facility. It's a vibrant community of older adults who come together by choice to create a shared, empowering, and supportive lifestyle. Imagine a small neighborhood where everyone is over 60. You each have your own private home or apartment, but the community shares things like gardens, workshops, kitchens, walking paths, and even weekly meals. You still have your privacy but you're also surrounded by peers who understand you, respect you, and support you. It's like living in a neighborhood where everyone gets it. You don't have to explain your needs. You don't feel like an outsider. You belong. Take the example of a co-housing village in Oregon, where 26 residents over the age of 65 built their community from the ground up. They designed their homes together, built a shared common house, and created systems for rotating meal duties, organizing movie nights, and even carpooling to doctor's appointments. They're not just neighbors, they're chosen family. And the impact, amazingly powerful. Studies show seniors in co-housing settings experience lower rates of loneliness, increased physical activity, greater life satisfaction, and in some cases, even improved health outcomes. Due to emotional well-being and reduced stress, this kind of living flips the script on the nursing home model. It's not about care being done to you. It's about creating an environment where care happens with you organically, respectfully, and on your terms. And if you're thinking, this sounds amazing, but how do I find one? Great question. Co-housing communities are popping up all over the world, including right here in the US, Canada, Europe, and Australia. Some are already established. Others are in the planning phase and looking for new members just like you to help shape the vision. And the best part, many of these communities are far more affordable than traditional assisted living or senior apartments. Because when you share resources, everyone wins. Let me paint a picture for you. Joanne, 74, joined a senior co-housing group after losing her husband. At first, she was nervous. She'd always been independent. But what she found was something she never expected: a life fuller than the one she had before. She says she wakes up to the sound of her neighbor's wind chimes, has morning tea with a group of women who feel like sisters, and always has someone to call when she needs help with tech, groceries, or just a walk. "It's not about being taken care of," she said. "It's about being surrounded by people who lift each other up." Now, tell me that doesn't sound like a beautiful way to age. So, if you've ever felt torn between staying alone and giving up control in a facility, this third path might just be the bridge. Co-housing gives you autonomy, friendship, purpose, and a living environment built with people who want to live, not just get by. And remember, my modern and unstoppable seniors, aging isn't about fading into the background. It's about finding spaces where you can keep shining with people who see you, respect you, and walk beside you. That's what senior co-housing is all about. Alternative number 4, village networks, aging in place. With a powerful local support system, my modern and unstoppable seniors, let's talk about a model that's quietly transforming aging in neighborhoods all over the world. One that's low cost, deeply community-driven, and completely on your terms. It's called a village network. Now, we're not talking about an actual village with cottages and cobblestone roads. No, this is something much more flexible and empowering. A village network is a local, membership-based organization that connects older adults to essential services, social activities, and volunteers within your current neighborhood. You stay in your home, in your community. But now, you're plugged into a powerful web of support designed by seniors. For seniors, think of it like a concierge service but built with heart. Need a ride to the doctor's office? Call the village. Need someone to help change a light bulb or fix the leaky faucet? The village sends a volunteer. Want to take a Tai Chi class, attend a book club, or meet for brunch with neighbors? The village organizes it. You remain the boss of your day, but now you've got a backup team who makes life smoother, safer, and richer. Let's break this down. Village networks operate on a nonprofit, community-first model. Most members pay a modest annual fee, far less than assisted living or home care, and in return, they receive access to trusted service providers, social programs, wellness checks, transportation, health technology assistance, and most importantly, sense of belonging. What makes this model so unique is its hyper-local approach. Each village network is built around a specific neighborhood or town, so services feel personalized and relationships feel real. It's not a one-size-fits-all solution. It's a tailor-made way to age on your terms. Here's an example. In Washington, D.C., the Capitol Hill Village started with just a few passionate residents. Today, it serves hundreds of members and has inspired dozens of other networks nationwide. And the feedback? Overwhelmingly positive. Members say things like, "I feel like I'm part of something again. My kids worry less because they know I'm supported. I haven't felt this connected in years." And that, my modern and unstoppable seniors, is the real magic of the village model. It's not just about getting a helping hand. It's about having options without obligation and freedom without isolation. Let me tell you about Samuel, 82. He lives alone in the home he's loved for 40 years. He didn't want to move to a facility, and he didn't want to feel like a burden to his family. So he joined a village network in his neighborhood. Now he gets groceries delivered, attends a photography club, and even hosts movie nights for other members. When his Wi-Fi went down, a volunteer tech-savvy college student came by to fix it. And when he fell once in his garden, the village checked in daily for a week to make sure he was okay. He says, "I still live alone, but I'm never on my own." Isn't that the dream? You keep your independence, your routine, your favorite mug, your memories. But now, you've got a lifeline that wraps around you in all the right ways. And the best part? This model is growing fast. There are now over 300 village networks in the US alone, and new ones are forming every year in Canada, Europe, and beyond. So, if you're thinking, "I want to stay home, but I also want connection, help, and joy," then a village network could be the perfect answer. Remember, aging well isn't just about health. It's about community, confidence, and choice. And that's exactly what this alternative offers. Alternative number 5. Senior co-housing, living independently. Together, my modern and unstoppable seniors. Have you ever thought about what it would be like to design your ideal lifestyle with friends, freedom, and support all under one roof? That's exactly what senior co-housing is all about. It's a growing trend where like-minded older adults come together to create a shared living community, not a facility, not a dormitory, but a place where everyone has their own private home and shares certain spaces, responsibilities, and most important, like connection. This isn't about squeezing into a tiny apartment or giving up your privacy. It's about combining the best of both worlds, independence and autonomy, with companionship, shared meals, and mutual help when needed. Picture this: you have your own cozy space, your furniture, your kitchen, your quiet mornings. But just down the hall or across the courtyard are your close friends. You might garden together, cook together once a week, or plan a movie night in the common room. You're not alone, and you're not isolated. You're part of something alive, vibrant, and built around your lifestyle. Let's talk about why this works. First, it's collaborative from the start. Most co-housing communities are co-created by the residents, often with the help of architects and planners. This means that the values, rules, and design of the space reflect the needs and preferences of the people who actually live there. You choose who you live with. You choose the activities and traditions. You even decide how decisions are made. Level of control and collaboration protects your dignity and ensures that no one gets lost in the shuffle. Financially, it's also surprisingly smart. While there's typically an upfront investment similar to buying a home, the ongoing costs can be much lower than assisted living or nursing care. Why? Because you're sharing resources, utilities, maintenance, even meals. And in return, you get so much more: built-in social life, mutual aid, and emotional support, shared transportation, or errands, safer, walkable spaces, and a natural system of looking out for one another here. A real-life example. A group of seniors in Oregon created a co-housing village called Elderberry. Each person has their own unit, but they share gardens, a big kitchen, and a common house for events. They eat dinner together 3 nights a week, check in on each other casually, and even organize group hikes and poetry readings. One resident, Barbara, says, "I didn't want to live alone, but I also didn't want to give up living how I choose. Here, I'm not a patient. I'm a neighbor, a friend, a creator of my own story." Powerful, isn't it? Now, co-housing isn't for everyone. It takes initiative and openness. You have to want to be involved, to show up for others as they show up for you. But for the right person, it offers a level of connection, dignity, and joy that many senior homes simply can't match. And the trend is spreading. There are now co-housing communities across the US, Canada, Europe, and Australia. Many of them focused on healthy aging, sustainability, and shared values like creativity or wellness. It's a reminder that aging doesn't have to mean retreating from life. It can mean leaning into community, into connection, into a living arrangement that actually fits your personality and goals. So ask yourself, would I enjoy sharing meals with neighbors I trust? Would I like to help shape the culture of where I live? Would I feel safer, happier, and more alive with people nearby who care? If the answer is yes, then co-housing might not just be an alternative to a nursing home. It might be your next great adventure. You don't have to wait for someone to build the perfect setup for you. You and your fellow unstoppable seniors can build it yourselves. Alternative number 6, village to village. Networks, community support without leaving your home. My modern and unstoppable seniors, have you ever wished there was a way to stay in your home and still get all the help, support, and social connection you might find in a senior facility without the walls, rules, and restrictions? Welcome to the powerful idea of the village-to-village movement. This isn't a physical village. It's a network of neighbors helping neighbors, a membership-based community organization designed to help older adults age in place with independence, dignity, and real support. Here's how it works. You join a local village chapter, and in return, you gain access to transportation services, help with household tasks, tech support, companionship, check-ins, exercise, classes, cultural and social events, and referrals for vetted, trusted professionals. It's like having the convenience and support of assisted living. But while living in your own home, on your own terms, what makes this model different is that it's grassroots. These villages are created and run by members, meaning you help shape the services, the community culture, and the direction it takes. Let's take a real example. In Boston, there's a village called Beacon Hill Village, and it's one of the original models. Members pay an annual fee and gain access to an entire support system. Volunteers help with rides to the doctor, picking up groceries, fixing a leaky faucet, or even organizing a group lunch at a nearby park. And because it's local and peer-driven, it never feels institutional or impersonal. It feels like real connection, real care, real community. This model is especially great for seniors who want to remain in familiar surroundings, value personal freedom, may not have family nearby, want to avoid the high costs of facilities, crave connection, but dislike the idea of being managed. The financial side is also appealing. Villages typically charge a much lower membership fee than senior living options. It's anywhere from $100 to $1,000 per year, depending on the area and level of service. That's a fraction of the cost of assisted living, and in many cases, you'll get more personalized support. Plus, many villages offer scholarships or sliding scale fees to make sure no one is left behind. There's also a major emotional benefit. You're not just a name on a chart or a room number. You're a valued member of a community where people know your story, your humor, your quirks, and your needs. Imagine getting a knock on the door from a volunteer who brings you soup when you're under the weather, or joining a Zoom book club with other seniors in your neighborhood, or calling a coordinator who already knows you by name and says, "Don't worry, we'll take care of it." That's peace of mind, my friends. That's aging with dignity and power. And guess what? As of today, there are over 300 active villages across the US, and many more are forming in Canada. You can even start your own if there isn't one near US. You can be the pioneer in your neighborhood. So let me ask you, do you want to stay in your own home? Do you want a community that supports your independence, not replaces it? Do you want meaningful social connection without giving up privacy? Then a village-to-village network might be exactly what you've been waiting for, because you deserve more than just care. You deserve to feel empowered, supported, and seen where you are. Alternative number 7, senior co-housing, aging together, not alone. My modern and unstoppable seniors. What if there was a place where you could live independently, surrounded by friends, not strangers? A place where you had your own private space, but shared a community life filled with laughter, support, and purpose. Welcome to the world of senior co-housing, one of the most exciting, empowering alternatives to traditional nursing homes. This isn't your typical senior facility. In fact, it's the opposite. Senior co-housing is a collaborative living model, designed and managed by the residents themselves. You live in your own private home or apartment, but the community shares common areas like a dining room, garden, library, or workshop space. It's not just a place to live, it's a place to belong. Here's how it works. Residents come together, usually 10 to 40 people, to co-design and co-manage the community. Everyone has their own unit, but decisions are made together. There's no staff telling you when to eat, sleep, or socialize. You set the rhythm of your day. Common meals, movie nights, walking groups, and creative workshops are all part of the culture, but always optional. And the key, it's based on mutual support, respect, and choice. Let me introduce you to Eleanor, age 74. She helped found a co-housing community in Oregon. She lives in a bright cottage with her cat, paints in the afternoons, and shares meals with neighbors 3 times a week. When she needs a ride to the doctor, a neighbor helps. When someone's having a rough day, the community notices. Nobody's invisible, and nobody's alone. The research backs this up too. Studies show seniors in co-housing report higher life satisfaction, lower levels of depression, better physical and mental health, a stronger sense of purpose and belonging. While the upfront cost of co-housing can vary depending on location and build, many groups create affordable models, sometimes partnering with nonprofits or land trusts, others buy existing properties and convert them into co-housing settings, meaning you don't have to be wealthy to live this way. One of the greatest strengths of this model is that it keeps people engaged, active, and socially connected, things that fight cognitive decline, loneliness, and dependency. This model also gives you control over how you want to live as you age. You're not waiting for someone else to make the rules, you're making them together in a way that reflects your values, your culture, your pace of life. It's perfect for seniors who want privacy but not isolation, prefer peer-based support rather than institutional care, believe in active living and shared purpose, are ready to trade loneliness for connection. Imagine waking up in a home you helped design, Taking a morning walk with a neighbor, sharing stories over dinner, helping each other stay sharp, laughing like you used to when you were younger. This is the future of aging, and it's happening now. So, my modern and unstoppable seniors, let's review. From in-home care to shared communities, these 7 options are not just alternatives, they are upgrades. They give you back the choice, the dignity, and the control you deserve. Because aging should never mean giving up who you are. Aging should mean living fully, loving deeply, and continuing to grow in an environment that respects you, hears you, and supports you. And that's exactly what we believe here at Wellness for Modern Seniors. So if this video gave you something to think about, if it made you feel more hopeful or more powerful, then I invite you to subscribe, hit the bell, and share this with someone you care about. Because together, we can redefine what aging looks like with strength, dignity, and independence. Until next time, stay unstoppable, stay wise, and most of all, stay you.